In every ringing phone and every call that bridges voices across borders lies a silent system that keeps our conversations connected, a few digits that most of us take for granted. These numbers, known as telephone country codes, may seem like simple prefixes, but their creation marked one of humanity's greatest achievements in global communication. From the chaos of early telephone systems to the birth of a unified interconnected world. This is the story of how country codes were created and how they changed the way we communicate, right here on History of Things. When Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in the late 19th century, it revolutionized the way humans communicated. For the first time, people could speak across miles. But in those early years, every single call had to be connected manually by a human operator who would link wires between switchboards. As the network grew from small towns to entire nations, every country developed its own rules and systems, without any global standard. This meant that international calls were incredibly complicated. When people first began trying to call across borders, linking different telephone systems was pure chaos. The world desperately needed a single, unified method, a way for both machines and people to instantly recognize where a call was going. Before country codes existed, international calls relied entirely on human operators who manually connected one network to another. In the 1930s and 1940s, calling another country meant going through several exchanges, sometimes taking minutes or even hours to connect. Each additional link increased delays and caused sound distortion. But as global business, diplomacy, and media expanded after World War II, this old-fashioned process could no longer keep up. The world needed a faster, more direct way to communicate. By the early 1950s, engineers and international organizations began working on the idea of direct dialing, a system that would allow someone to call a foreign country without any operator's help. But to make that possible, one crucial innovation was needed, a standardized code system that would identify every nation uniquely. Without such a system, telephones would never know where to send the call automatically. That's when the International Telecommunication Union, ITU, a United Nations agency already managing global telegraph and radio standards, took on the challenge of uniting the world's telephone networks. The ITU developed what became known as the World Numbering Plan, formally established in 1964 under the recommendation E-164. This plan divided the world into regions and assigned each country a unique code, a kind of address for phone calls. Suddenly, what was once a tangled web of disconnected local systems turned into one coordinated global map where every nation spoke the same numerical language. Implementing this system was no small task. Countries had to restructure their internal phone systems, reprogram switches, and retrain operators. Millions of users had to adapt to the new global dialing system. The introduction of the plus sign symbolizing an international call made dialing universal. Combined with each nation's country code, it allowed telephones around the world to recognize destinations instantly, bridging networks and people across continents. In 1957, history was made when the first transnational direct dialing call connected London and Paris. It was a quiet yet revolutionary moment, the first time anyone could call overseas directly without operator assistance, using nothing but a series of digits. What seemed simple to users represented years of technical innovation, diplomacy, and international cooperation. By the 1970s, direct international dialing had spread across the developed world, making global communication faster and more personal than ever before. But beyond the technology, the creation of country codes carried a powerful symbolic meaning. Each code became a mark of national identity. For newly independent countries, receiving their own code from the ITU was like raising a flag, a declaration that their voice mattered in the world. Some nations even lobbied for specific codes, while others debated how regions should be grouped. Over time, country codes became deeply embedded in modern life, appearing on everything from business cards to emergency services, from mobile networks to online data systems. Even today, in the era of WhatsApp, Zoom, and internet calling, the legacy of country codes lives on. While we might not think about them, these codes still help verify identities, route connections, and maintain order in global communication. When you dial +44 for the United Kingdom, +81 for Japan, or +63 for the Philippines, you reconnecting through a system built over half a century ago, a system that continues to unite billions of voices every day. Ultimately, telephone country codes were born out of necessity, a need to bring order to chaos. Through collaboration and innovation, they turned a patchwork of isolated networks into a single, interconnected world. They transformed distance into connection, making our global community possible. And even though we rarely notice them today, every time we make an international call, those few digits remind us of one simple truth, that even the smallest numbers can connect the world. Thank you for watching History of Things. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, And subscribe for more fascinating tales about how the inventions we take for granted have shaped the modern world.